This video series attempts to provide an esoteric analysis of the Holy Scriptures, offering an antidote to the distortions promoted by literalist and uninitiated readings. Rooted in the principles of Empyrean dragon magic and aligned with the Illuminist mission of advancing humanity toward unity through rational spiritual gnosis, the series invites viewers to embark on a progressive interpretive journey. Each new video builds upon the last, creating a cumulative hermeneutic architecture that reveals the scriptures as a coded metaphysical narrative for magic and self-realization. And the earth brought forth grass, and herb yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind. And God saw that it was good. Genesis 1 verse 12. At first, this verse appears to be identical to the previous verse. If we carefully analyze the two verses, we will find that the last verse is about the decree of potentiality being brought into actualization. In contrast, this verse is the actualization of God's decree. To repeat the idea hidden in these two verses, the vast oceanic potential of the unconscious mind, the waters below, is being gathered together, allowing dry land to appear. This land is the formation of ego consciousness. It is the outcome of self-organizing unconscious frequency patterns. These two verses examine the nature of thought, recursive thinking, and self-replicating thought forms. Grass, herbs, and trees are categories of ideation, from primitive instincts, grass, to self-replicating thought forms, herbs with seed, to structured systems of ideas, trees with fruit. We discussed how this symbolizes the third stage of the mind's spiritual unfoldment and relates to the principle of imagination. Imagination is what allows the formless to be formed. In verse 11, the grass, herbs, seeds, and fruit-bearing trees are still potentialities, images latent within the psyche, blueprints within the soil of consciousness. In verse 12, the process is actualized. It is now consciously visible. Verse 12 is the Word made flesh. Psychologically, the previous verse was all about an unconscious command, an archetypal instinct arising from the depths of the unconscious mind. This verse is about its emanation and manifestation in the conscious mind, where the psyche perceives and shapes it into an experience that is visible to awareness. Verse 11 is about setting an intention in motion. Verse 12 is its manifestation. What has been manifested here? The commencement of the mind's formative activity through imagination allows unconscious frequency patterns to become increasingly complex configurations within ego consciousness. The conscious mind becomes the earth, and the unconscious mind the sea. The appearance of the earth, ego consciousness, provides the necessary ground for imagination to turn the formless into form. In essence, formlessness cannot exist. From an ontological mathematical perspective, everything is form. Mathematical form? The base nature of reality is entirely formative, rational, and structured, syntactic, and orderly. Even the chaos of unconsciousness is order misperceived. Therefore, it would be more correct to say that verse 11 is the invocation of syntax, while verse 12 is the manifestation of ingrained semantics. Through imagination, syntactic concepts are being perceived as semantic precepts. Those structures that are perceived as meaningful forms, grass, herbs, trees, were always mathematical, but now consciousness apprehends their semantic content. Syntactic forms are things in themselves, pure, eternal, abstract, mathematical waveforms. Semantic forms refer to how those waveforms are interpreted, symbolized, pictured, and imagined in the psyche. So, any argument about formlessness is always false. What there is the emergence of semantics from syntactic forms. This emergence is categorized here as grass, herbs, seeds, and trees that yield fruit, self-replicating thoughts, recursive thinking, and conceptualization, which lead to ideas and whole structured systems. Imagination is precisely the faculty of semantics. It translates the eternal syntax, mathematical waves, into psychic pictures, trees, herbs, fruit. Conceptual thought and reason will always be higher than picture thinking, hence their precedence. It transcends reliance on sensory images and abstract detached thought, allowing for a deeper, more comprehensive understanding of reality. The mind understands itself conceptually through perceptual experiences. This is the whole point of creation, to allow God, and by God I mean all of us together, to reach self-realization. God projects a holographic dream and seeks to become lucid. This mission is achieved once each one of us realizes ourselves. This is a process of expansion and contraction. The one becomes the many, and the many return to the one. As the verse states, the earth brought herb-yielding seed after its kind. Every idea, every thought, every archetype replicates its own nature. A fearful thought breeds fearful thoughts. A noble thought breeds noble thoughts. Consciousness is fractal. The appearance of psychic vegetation in imaginal form is the flowering of ideation and the fertilization of the mind. This is also the beginning of the process by which the unconscious individuates itself. Archetypes emerge into psychic visibility, each reproducing its own structure. An inner world emerges. Abrahamic religions failed to entertain such a realization because that would put their entire identity, dogma, and indoctrination in jeopardy. This series has been created to provide an antidote to the plague of Abrahamism. As we have reached the end of this verse interpretation, you are kindly asked to like, subscribe, and share this content. Thank you.